Lady, thank you once again and good morning again to our viewers as we try and bring conversations about science down to the viewer at home and how it can be beneficial to you. I just want to show a picture here just before we talk about what developing biorefinery based technologies for beneficiation of food waste means. And let's Mkhunu Thandiweyo, a scientist with the CSIR, thank you so much for talking to us. This concept of every morsel counts, that food does not necessarily need to be thrown away. Tell us about what you do.
What we are doing at CSIR within the chemical cluster, we are saying no to food, the organic waste should not go to the landfill or it should not go into the dustbins. What we need to do at household level is then take the food waste and then put it back into the soil because it correlates, it understands each other. So what we are doing then is taking the food waste.
Just bring our camera here to the table.
Yes.
So this is the food?
Yes.
This would be the food?
Yes. Which also includes the peels, the onion peels, the banana peels, onion peels, anything that is organic, not processed food like meat or cheese. We don't include that. We only include what the nature has created itself. And then
you would mix it up with something
and
like
then
this.
we will blend it in. This is just to reduce the size, and then at the end we are going to have a pulp like this. And then after this, then we start putting in the micro-effective organism. Oh, okay. We put in an enzyme to break it down so that the whole moisture that is coming in with food waste, it gets reduced. And also, we're allowing the organic waste to break down easily. Other than when you're putting it in your garden, it will take forever, like 2 months or 3 months.
So where would a person at home get access of those enzymes you're talking about?
That is the secret for CSIR.
But we're trying to encourage South Africans or people who are watching to do this at home as well.
What we are doing at CSIR, we want to package this. Normally, you will go to the hardware and buy the fertilizer. So now we want you to go and buy the organic fertilizers other than the one that is made out of chemicals.
You've already started a project in KZN.
Yes.
Tell us about it. I don't know if our camera can come into the book here where we look at those drums that you have where you already, although you say it's at a small scale, you're already packaging this.
Yes. At the moment, we are based in KZN and we have already started with the piloting, and we are just putting it in the buckets, and then if you want it, then we can sell it in 20 kgs or 50 kgs. So the challenge that we are having is that most of the farmers who come to us, they want it in tons. So we are pleading to our beautiful government that we want to go commercial with the same project, and so that we are able now to grow our food organically at a larger scale.
Do you already have any success stories?
Yes, we do. We have grown cabbages, we have grown spinach, we have grown carrots, and when we are taking all the analysis, the nutrient value has gone up like 3 times more when you are using organic waste. Because it's the same thing as a human being. When you're eating your vegetables, you glow, you're beautiful, because our body understands. Yeah. It's the same thing now when you are feeding the soil organic waste.
Just like you glowing. Now, South African farmers, or even the region, SADC region farmers watching this and thinking, I'd like to apply this methodology to my own farming process. How do they get a hold of this project?
They can just get hold of me at CSIR as well as the management at CSIR, because we want to control the IP of the whole process. And what we can do is that we sell you the final product, and then we can then grow from there and have franchises. And because the main thing is for us to have organic waste and being utilized, not going to the landfill.
Thandiweyo Mkhunu is with the CSIR talking to us about that Every Morsel Counts project where they convert food waste into manure. Of course, there's other conversations. Ma'am, I'm going to ask you to give me your name.
Gabriela Ramos, and I'm Assistant Director General for Social and Human Sciences of UNESCO, who is a co-sponsor of this wonderful World Science Forum.
UNESCO, of course, playing a big role in this event. Just tell us about your thoughts since the beginning of the event.
Well, I think it's amazing. I think that South Africa is really putting a very high bar when organizing this very big science forum. The question is how much the messages coming out from here will help us take better policy decisions. Because the science is there, the theme is how do we build social justice, how do we reduce inequalities, how do we ensure that the digital transformation does produce more inequalities, how do we achieve gender equality, how do we achieve a fair transition on climate, and all of these questions you have the science behind to deliver better, but we need to inform policies and we need to have the policies to deliver change.
It's very interesting bringing these very crucial conversations into the space of science. Is this an indication of the changes in the world in general, just in case of inclusivity?
Well, the fact is that we are in, I would say, in an inequality crisis. We are in a climate crisis. We know that if the digital transformation continues to be so concentrated in so few hands, it's going to deliver more inequalities, and therefore there is an urgency call in this forum to ensure that we change path and that we deliver better. In UNESCO, for example, I am in charge of the ethics of artificial intelligence, a recommendation that 193 countries achieved.
In the world.
Because if data is not shared, if we produce algorithms that are only reproducing the biases of this world, the discrimination of this world, we are not going to deliver. And therefore, we need to walk the talk, because we have international agreements, we have the science, but the outcomes are not where we want them to be.
What has been the importance or the significance of bringing this conversation to the African continent?
Well, I feel that this, again, giving voice to the Global South, the solutions need to be close where people live. The message of President Ramaphosa yesterday was very telling in that sense. It's not about anybody coming to tell the Africans what to do with Africa. You know what to do with Africa. I am Mexican. I know what to do with Mexico. The whole point is how through international cooperation and through scientific exchanges, we can do better. We can learn from each other, but we can also hear, as you saw with your previous interviewee, that solutions are made locally, and we need to make them count.
So in a globalized world, how do you separate the local conversations, the local solutions, to the global ones?
Well, the fact is that we know that global solutions, global frameworks, as the one I mentioned on artificial intelligence, as the one we have to protect scientists, will not work if we don't also bring the bottom-up conversations. We need to listen to the communities. We need to listen to the societies. Solutions need to be contextualized. We cannot have one size fits all and say, okay, you produce growth in this way, you produce digital in this way, go for it. If you don't go to the real conditions and the realities of people, talking to the civil society, talking to people, listening to people will make our solutions sustainable.
Yes, thank you once again for talking to us. And on that note, we take it back to Johannesburg. Naledi?